Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Jai Om Vishnupada Paramapsa Pachkarya Saraswata Srata Shri Sri Mad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramapsa Pachkarya Saraswata Shri Sri Mad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Natakoti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namatari Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Pramasé Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasti Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopna Shamakunda Radhakund Girdagonan Ki Jai. Vrindavana Dhamma Ki Jai. Mathura Dhamma Ki Jai. Navadvipe Dhamma Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dhamma Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Yogamaya Ki Jai. Gangamaya Ki Jai. Samveta Bhaktivinda Ki Jai. All glories assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees. All glories assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlada Daya. Shila Tanka Nakalai Ito Nisimha Parito Nisimo Yato Yato Yamitato Nisimha Bahir Nisimho, Hiraye Nisimho Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapade Savakara Kamalavare Nakam Adhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Danu Bringam Shapadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Nakam Adhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Danu Bringam Savakara Kamalavare Nakam Adhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Danu Bringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lord Nrsimhadev ki, Prahlad Maharaj ki, Shri Shri Gonatai ki. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachadine Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nananaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Nama Namaha. Reading Bhagavad Gita. We'll start the introduction. Om Jnana Timarandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swaparantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutaparakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavhamscha Shri Rupam Sakrajatam Sahaganha Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahaganha Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindan Vaneshwari Vishubhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kapata Rupyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Hevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. We recite this prayer every morning or every evening, right before Bhagavad Gita class. I don't read through the translation as often as I should. If you'd like, we can take turns and just read through the English here. Maybe Dr. Cody, you can start, if you'd like.
So translation for the introductory verses.
We'll switch after every paragraph. Yeah, okay.
So translation for the introductory verses. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes to the torch of knowledge. I offered my respectful obeisances unto him. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who had established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter? When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet?
I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master and unto the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother Sanatan Goswami, as well as Raghunath Das and Raghunath Bhatta, Gopal Bhatta and Srila Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, along with Advaitacharya, Gadadhar and Srivas and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna along with their associates, Sri Lalita and Visakha.
O my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavan. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, and you are very dear to Lord Krishna.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls.
I offer my obeisances to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivas and all others in the line of devotion.
Jai. Krishna says in chapter 10, verse 10 or 11, he says, Tesham evinukam partam aham agyana jamtamaha nashayam yatma bhavasto jnana dipina bhasvataha. That out of compassion I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. We hear something similar in this first verse. That we were all born in the darkest of ignorance. And it was the spiritual master who opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. This is the external manifestation of Krishna, to be seen non-different than Krishna. In the same way that if a man has a dog, you pay respects to that dog, and that gets you closer to that man, the owner. Krishna mercifully sends his representative. We're so blind to him and the fact that he's within our heart, but he sends us something externally to bring us back into contact with him. This is the spiritual master. So through paying our respects to the spiritual master, he humbly collects them and then offers them up the line, the chain of disciplic succession, like we see here on the wall. And this is the qualification of the spiritual master, is that he's not accepting the glory for himself, but rather he's passing it up the line. Ultimately, to Lord Sri Krishna, who we can see that at the very top. So we'll begin with our verses. Does anyone know where we're at? Somewhere along chapter 18?
But I don't know exactly. No, it's past the 50s. Yes. Yeah.
40, 45 maybe?
Yeah.
Let's see. Does this look at
Go to 54.
Go to 54. Okay.
18.
Krishna. This look familiar at all? Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma. We did this yesterday.
Yeah.
We'll start here. This is a famous verse. We can read the Sanskrit in unison. 1 second to get this right. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Nashochiti Nakangshiti Sarma Sarveshu Bhuteshu Madbhaktim Nabate Param. Translation: one who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state he attains pure devotional service unto me. Text 55. Bhaktyamham abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tatpata tatomham tatpato gyatva vishate taranantaram. There we go. Translation: one can understand the Supreme Personality as he is only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Text 56. Sarva karmanyapi sada korbanho madhyapashvayaha madprasada vapnoti shashvatam paramhavyayam. Translation: though engaged in all kinds of activities, my devotee, under my protection, reaches the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. Text 57. Cetasa sarva karmani mai sanyasyam hatparaha bodhiyogam ashritya machchita satatam bhava. Translation: in all activities just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service be fully conscious of me. Text 58. Machchita sarva durgani matprasada tarishyasi atachyatvam ahankaram nashroshyasi vinhangshyasi. Translation: if you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditional life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. Text 59. Yadahankaram hashritya nayotsya hitim hanyase mityaisha vyavasayaste prakritis tvam niyokshyati. Translation: if you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. By your nature, you will have to be engaged in warfare. Text 60. Swabhava jena konteya nipadha svena karmana katum heschasi hanmohat kareshyas yavashopitat. Translation: under illusion, you are now declining to act according to my direction, but compelled by your own nature, you will act all the same, O son of Kunti. Text 61. Ishvara sarva bhutanham hirdisharjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantrarudhani mayaya. Translation: the Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. Text 62. Tam heva sharanham gachta sarva bhavena vadata tat prasadat param shantim stanham prapsyasi shashvatam. Translation: O sign of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. Text 63. Dite jnanam hakyatam kuyat kuyatarham maya vimrishyaitada sheshenha yatechchasitata kuru. Translation: thus I have explained to you the most confidential of all knowledge. Deliberate on this fully, and then do what you wish to do. Text 64. Sarva guyatam hambu yashvinhum he paramham vacha ishtosim he dridhamiti dato vakshyami te hitam. Translation: because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you the most confidential part of knowledge. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. One more text. Manmana babam bhakto matyaji ham namaskuru ham vaishyasi satyam te pratijjhane priyosime. Translation, always think of me, become my devotee, worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this, because you are my very dear friend. Back to 54. Translation and purports by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. One who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state he attains pure devotional service unto me. Mam chayo vyavacharena bhakti yogena sevate saguna samatityayitam brahma bhuyaya kalpate. That one who is in full determined devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, he at once transcends the modes of material nature, which act like ropes, binding him to this world of birth and death we've been swimming in, sometimes floating, sometimes sinking, but nonetheless suffering for so long. He attains that state of reconnection with Krishna. This is the ultimate objective of all yoga, Vasudeva Para Yoga. This is Krishna. He's the ultimate knowledge to be gained from all revealed scriptures. And all sacrifice is performed for knowing Him. Service unto Him is the supreme religion, and that brings us to the supreme destination, Paragatihi. Purport. To the impersonalist, achieving the Brahmabhuta stage, becoming one with the Absolute, is the last word. But for the personalist, or pure devotee, one has to go still further to become engaged in pure devotional service. Off the bat, Prabhupada is making the distinction between the impersonalist and the devotee. The impersonalist does not know anything beyond his own speculation into the nature of Brahman. He might rise to that transcendental stage, but because the soul is always active, always looking for that ananda, that bliss that only comes with knowing Krishna and rendering service unto Him, as we're created to do. This is our constitutional position. Without this intimate, loving exchange with the devotees in Krishna, ultimately the impersonalist will always fall back down into mundane endeavors. Vedanti tat tattvavidas. This is the learned transcendentalist. He knows that of this non-dual substance, Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaneti Shabdyate, that there's three factors. This is spoken about in chapter 2 of Bhagavatam, which is a very important chapter in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is Sutta Goswami delineating that the wise man, he knows the three stages of the absolute truth. One being the Brahman effulgence. This is where the impersonalist attains. The mystic yogi, who can go a little bit further in meditating on the Lord within the heart, that localized aspect, that partial representation known as Paramatma. Still beyond that, there's this third stage. And this is the true last word of transcendence. This is the stage of rendering service directly to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself, Lord Sri Krishna, who is original and inexhaustible. The great souls, they're fully protected and engaged in devotional service unto Krishna because they know that truth. They know of his very self and his glories, his fame, his pastimes. Therefore, they're protected. Daivim prakritim ashritaha. And they don't fall down. Continuing on. But for the personalist, a pure devotee, one has to go still further to become engaged in pure devotional service. This means that one who is engaged in pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord is already in a state of liberation, called Brahmabhuta, the oneness with the Absolute. Without being one with the Supreme, the Absolute, one cannot render service unto him. In the Absolute conception, there is no difference between the served and the servitor, yet the distinction is there in the higher spiritual sense. Prabhupada here is saying that before we can render service unto the Supreme Lord, we must first know that we share his qualities. A limited amount of qualities that we contain, he also contains, but unlimitedly. This is the difference between the Jiva and the Parameshvara, the Supreme Controller. Nityanam, Nityanas, Nityo Nityanam, Chaitanas, Chaitananam, Akoba Hunham, Yo Vedadati Kaman. Nityo Nityanam, there's the singular consciousness, and then there's the plural consciousness. And Chaitanas, Chaitananam, there's the I think Chaitanas is the singular consciousness, actually. Chaitananam is the plural consciousness. Nityanam, Nityo Nityanam, this is the Supreme Eternal and the Limited Eternal. Is that right, Ajit? What's the translation? Nityo Nityanam. I forget. Essentially what it's saying is that Krishna is the chief of all living entities. That through him, he dishes out everything that the soul needs to continue on. In the same way that a little spark of the fire comes from the supreme source, the fire, the base of the fire, or the sun ray emanates from the sun itself. We come from the Supreme Lord. Yes, Prabhu.
God is one, but he manifests in different forms.
Yes.
So God is one, but he manifests in different forms. So that's one of the pointers.
Yeah, there's the chief of all living entities. This is Bhagavan, and then there are the subordinate, right? The subordinate living entities, such as myself and yourself, who are constitutionally designated to serve him for all of eternity. And this is a very blissful arrangement for the living. So blissful, actually, that the Lord himself descends in Kali Yuga to take the part of his own devotee. We have the Bhakta avatar here. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is depicted up on the wall. This is the most charitably disposed avatar, because there's no discrimination. He's freely dishing out the mercy to everyone, even the sinners, as we see within the pastime of Jagai and Madhai. So nicely portrayed. So, my point is, one must understand that they're Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. Before they can render service unto the Supreme, they must first know that they must rise to that platform of Brahman. Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate, that's what that means. They come to the level of Brahman, at once transcending the modes of material nature. Saguna Samatityaitan. Samatityaitan means transcending. But it doesn't stop there. That's just simply the qualification for moving forward. And in that purport to that verse, Mam Chayovya Vacharena, Prabhupada, he states that it is our qualification coming to the Brahman platform in the same way that a king's subject must be made qualified to render service to the king. We must be made qualified to render service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is understanding that we are part and parcel of Him. So this is our wonderful philosophy of Achinta Veda Veda Tattva, of being inconceivably the same and different of the Supreme Lord. That qualitatively we are one with the Lord, but quantitatively we are minute. We are limited in our capacity for His full range of unlimited opulence. And that's what's so intriguing about our philosophy. That's what makes it the highest philosophy of all philosophy, is this Achinta Veda Veda Tattva, that as far as I know, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought to us. Yeah. Yes, Prabhu?
So in teachings of Lord Chaitanya, the simultaneous oneness and difference philosophy is very perfectly, nicely explained. Lord Chaitanya gives a nice quote. He says, he's talking to Sanatana Goswami, and he says, because you are spirit, that's your true nature, you are the same as Krishna, but because you're minute spirit, you're little spirit, you are different. So I really liked how that was put and explained. It was like perfectly, it was really nice.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We've come under misidentification due to the contact we've made with material energy. We are thinking ourselves our body. We don't know that we're spirit. Maybe we can, saying that is one thing, but actually realizing that and living in such a way is another thing. So there's a nice verse in Bhagavatam, Maitreya Rishi speaks to Vidura. He says, Hitajale chandramasat kampadis tatkuto gunaha drishyate sanapi drastor atmanon atmano gunaha. He says that as the moon that shines on the ocean appears to the seer to tremble due to its association with the water, so the foolish man also implants material bodily conceptions on the spirit self. This means that the moon is fixed within the sky and it's completely unfazed by any phenomena experienced here on earth. It's separated completely from any type of material illusion that could make it appear such that it is trembling. It's really not. That's just a reflection in the water. It's not reality. Similarly, we think of ourselves as here today and gone tomorrow. That we only live once. That I am simply what I can experience with my gross external senses. And actually that everything that I come in contact is mine to enjoy. So this is our position of misidentification with the body and the havoc that it can begin to wreak in our becoming more and more deluded. Because as we hear in chapter 2 Bhagavad Gita, Dhyayato Vishayam Pumsa Sangasteshu Vajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Vajayate, that it starts with the contemplation of the sense objects, meditating upon that which we want to bring closer to us, and then even if we do manage to bring it closer to us, it never lives up to that subtle gratification we received when we first dreamt about it. So we go unfulfilled from that type of stimulation that we do or don't get. It doesn't matter if we get it or not. It's not going to please us. So that hankering turns to frustration, and frustration turns to delusion, that delusion turns to bewilderment, and so on and so forth. Until you move all the way down the line and you see that the living entity has become completely bewildered and just tossed right back into the modes of material nature. I mean, just swept away by his own senses. So therefore, all throughout the Bhagavad Gita, we hear the importance of controlling the mind, which is the commander of all the five senses. The mind is counted as the sixth sense, and curbing the mind is found to be very, very difficult, but it is possible through practice and through determination. And it's actually made very, very easy by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And it's important to loudly chant. We should chant loudly, because as we chant loudly, we engage more and more of our senses in the glorification of the holy name of the Lord. Whereas if we're chanting very quietly within our head, within our heart, that's very nice. It's better than anything else you could be doing practically. But if we're not so advanced, then we should be taking every opportunity we get to engage all of our senses in the service of the Lord. Sarva pari vinir moktam tat paratuvena nirmalam harishikena harishikesha sevanam bhakti uchite. Bhakti means engaging our senses in the devotional service of the Lord, and by doing so, two things happen. We become immediately transcended upon material designation, and we purify our senses. We purify our senses. So if we're chanting loudly, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, we're engaging, what are we engaging? We're engaging our mind, remembering the holy, beautiful 16 named 32 syllable mantra that is the Maha mantra, the great mantra. We're engaging our tongue, and we should engage our whole lower face, actually. I read this, Prabhupada speaks about this in one letter. We should be controlling, or we should be, what's the word, kind of accentuating or over-exaggerating with our mouth, with our muscles as we chant. And this helps us stay awake, this helps us enunciate, pronunciate. So we should be moving the muscles on our top lip, on our bottom lip, and our tongue as we chant the holy name. And we should chant loud enough so we can hear as well. And that way we're at least engaging three senses. If we're walking, then we can walk for Krishna as we chant. Or there's so many things to do for Krishna. But when we're chanting, we should strictly be chanting. That's the idea. Continuing. In the material concept of life, when one works for sense gratification, there is misery. But in the absolute world, when one is engaged in pure devotional service, there is no misery. When one works for sense gratification, there is misery. But in the absolute world, when one is engaged in pure devotional service, there is no misery. Yehi samsparshacha boga dukhayo naya evite. Adyantavanta konteya nateshu ramate buddhaha. That the wise man, he doesn't partake in the source of misery, which comes from the coming and going of this material enjoyment, the temporary nature, right? This is dukkhalayama shashvatam. This world is temporary, therefore it's miserable. Because for the eternal soul that demands bliss, any type of temporary satisfaction is not enough. So he's not engaged in these so-called pleasures that everyone else is walking around thinking they're enjoying. He's beyond that because he understands that rendering devotional service, such devotional service that must be uninterrupted and unmotivated, that's the only way to completely satisfy the self. Yayat masupra sirati. There's no other way. And upon rendering such service, completely unmotivated, uninterrupted, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. The attachment to the world is the very thing that is binding us to it. And the detachment is not nullifying our desires, it's not nullifying or negating our enjoyment. It's to detach from the world. What that truly means is to attach to Krishna. And that doesn't mean that we have to give up anything in our life, actually. We can keep everything, it's a matter of repositioning our relationship to it. What lens are we seeing through? More often than not, I mean, if you're a conditioned soul like myself, that lens that we're looking through is cloudy. It's not as it really seems. That's the definition of Maya. It's that which is not. So you clean off the mirror. And this is exactly what's done by chanting. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. This is the first poem left by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says this cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated, and it extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. And it's this prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It's not impartial to him or her. It goes out, and in the same way that the light of the moon, the rays of the moon, don't discriminate, but they give their light to the whole creation. Similarly, the potency of the holy name, it affects us in such a way that it's for everyone. It's for the whole world. It's for the purification of us all, no matter what designation we're in. Mostly the human form of life, because we can engage in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, but even the lesser forms of life, the lower forms of life, they still make benefit, they still make progress when they hear the holy name of the Lord. So that's the effect of proper detachment from this world, and this is given to us through that constant, uninterrupted, unmotivated, loving devotional exchange that we give Krishna. He reciprocates in full. And everything becomes delivered to us that we could ever want and more. The devotee in Krishna consciousness has nothing to lament or desire, since God is full. A living entity who is engaged in God's service in Krishna consciousness becomes also full in himself. He is just like a river cleansed of all dirty water, because a pure devotee has no thought other than Krishna. He is naturally always joyful. He does not lament for any material loss or gain because he is full in the service of the Lord. He has no desire for material enjoyment because he knows that every living entity is the fragmental part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and therefore eternally a servant. He does not see in the material world someone as higher, someone as lower, someone as lower. Higher and lower positions are ephemeral, and the devotee has nothing to do with ephemeral appearances or disappearances. Vidya vinaya sampane, brahmane gavihashtane, shuni chaiva shwapake cha, pandita samadarshana. That the humble sage, by virtue of true vision, he sees with equal vision the learned and gentle brahmana, the cow, the elephant, the dog, or the dog-eater. Someone as low as an outcast. He sees that no matter what designation a particular soul is enacting or embodied within, that qualitatively they're part and parcel of Krishna. Mamai vamsho jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatanaha. We're eternal fragmental parts and parcels of Krishna, and the one who's learned in the absolute truth, he sees this and he makes no distinctions between these material designations, which, as we hear, are just ephemeral appearances or disappearance. For him, stone and gold are of equal value. This is the Brahmabhuta stage, and this stage is attained very easily by the pure devotee. This is what it means, more or less, to be steady in both happiness and distress, to see with this equal vision. And we hear that that one is certainly eligible for liberation if they're not diverted by the happiness or distress that they inevitably find in the material world. As long as we have a body, there will be happiness and distress. And this happiness and distress will be allotted to us as our karma is written. You know, due to our past actions, we will suffer results that will come without our wanting, and we will reap pious reactions as well that will come anyway without our willing. The sage accepts this, and then he can free himself from all karma altogether. So I talked a lot, kind of jumped from branch to branch. Hope it wasn't too incoherent, but we'll wrap it up there. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.